Up top and just that, it's DUTCHdinero here representing for DUTCHdinero Top Slide TV. Please remember, share, like, subscribe, tell a friend about Yasso, cause I Yasso, nice. Yes, my fam, me there, chillax, a build back, a whole back, a vibe, everything good, everything cookie, everything sort out, everything nice. Yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah, man, happy to be here, and I'm sure you're all happy to be here. You know what I mean? I hope you're liking this topic. I hope you're liking the topics, right? In Sky's the Limit Inspirations, right? Because here at DUTCHdinero Top Slide TV, we want to be as inspirational as possible, right? And who is the best person to look for inspirations? God Himself, you know what I mean? Jesus, His story is always inspiring, and His story that a lot of people follows, right? And His name is so powerful, it can help you out in any situation, and you can call on Him in any situation, whether happy or sad, right? So my last video was what's in a name, everything, part 2, right? So you can go to your YouTube search and type what's in a name, everything, part 2, DUTCHdinero, or DUTCHdinero, what's in a name, everything, part 2, and you will find that video much quicker and easier by typing DUTCHdinero with the topic, right? So today's topic is what's in a name, everything, part 3, right? So my fam, let's go into this one and let you understand how powerful a name can be, and the most powerful name in this world today, right? So let's go into it, right? What's in a name, everything, part 3. Let's look again at Jehovah Nissi, the Lord my banner. It isn't easy to hand our battles over and let God fight for us. We feel like we are copping out or being irresponsible. Popular thinking says, don't just sit there, do something. We are like the drowning man who can't stop grasping at his rescuer. We imagine they need our help, and as a result, we end up making their job almost impossible. The truth is, we become their worst nightmare, but just because God fights for us doesn't mean we are not involved. The hardest part about the order, stand still and watch the deliverance of the Lord, is we mistake standing still for doing nothing or being derelict in our duty. Fear says, just do something. Faith says, stand in faith. Let God do it. That's about as far from doing nothing as you can get. It's faith at its highest. So how come we need spiritual armor if we don't do the fighting? God question. Paul said, put on the full armor of God so you can take your stand against the devil's schemes. Notice, you wear his armor, not yours. You are to stand, not fight. The weapons of our welfare are not of the flesh. Human methods get in God's way. Natural abilities are useless against spiritual forces. The grub of the dragonfly at the bottom of the pond may be a well-developed, vigorous grub, but once it becomes a dragonfly, the strength of its grub life won't help it to live an airborne life. Whereas we once trusted in our own human effort, now we trust in Jehovah Nissi. Up top and just that, it's DUTCHdinero here representing for DUTCHdinero Top Slide TV. Please remember, share, like, subscribe, tell a friend them about Yasso, because a Yasso nice. So yes, my family there. So as you learned here today, that you have to call on Jehovah God, right? Because even the rescuer, you see at the beach the lifeguard, you see at the beach the firefighter, the policeman, right? The doctors, right? The nurses, right? Even them have to call on God for help and to open their knowledge in surgery or in their regular work. Because at the end of the day, God is the one who is fighting the battle. God is the one who is working through us, right? Sometimes people might say, just do something. Don't sit and wait, just do something, right? But sometimes you end up doing the wrong thing because you're not feeling good, you're feeling hungry, right? And hunger and action, hunger plus action can be devastating, right? So you don't want to put any action to your hunger. What you want to do, pray about it and leave it to God, right? That is what you want to do. Sometimes you don't even want to say a word because hunger will let you say things that you might regret, things that you don't want to say, and things that you don't have to say, you don't need to say, right? So sometimes you have to just bury the hunger and leave it to God, right? Because you might never know what will happen if you get hungry and say, or if you get hungry and do or react, right? So my fam, my last video, so my fam, my next video will be what's in a name, everything, part 4. Right, so you can go to your YouTube search and type what's in a name, everything, part 4, DUTCHdinero, or DUTCHdinero, what's in a name, everything, part 4. And by adding DUTCHdinero to the topic, of course, you will find your video much faster without have to scrolling and scrolling, right? So my fam, we are here on the topics of names, right, and how powerful names can be, and we are dealing with none other than the most powerful name in this world, and you know that's Jehovah himself, God, right? Jesus, right? So remember him in your battles and remember him in your fights, right? And remember that you don't have to fight any battle, he will fight them for you. Sometimes people say just leave it to time. It's like saying leaving it to Father Time, leaving it to God, because you know He control all times. You know what I mean? So you just leave it to God, and you never might know how victorious your battle will be until you left it to Him. Right? Sometimes a co-worker keep fighting you and fighting you and fighting you, like they want you out the job, right? And you just do your work and obey your supervisor's order and your boss's orders, right? And whosoever set above your orders, right? And when you look, sometimes God see their wickedness, see their wicked hearts, see their wicked hands, and God put them where they are supposed to be. And sometimes they are not supposed to be in that job, because if they do, you as God people won't be in your position for too long, because they will fight you out. So sometimes God just put them one side and allow them to seek another job. You know what I mean? And you get upset on them, and when you get upset on them and you speak your mind, or you get physical, right? You lose your job before that person, right? So what you do, you leave it to God, and God will put them into their place, or He will change them, right? Don't fail to leave it to God, and don't feel like, oh, God is not gonna deal with it, or God don't must deal with it, or whatever. You know what I mean? God will do the necessary to protect His people, right? So don't be afraid. Just leave it to God, right? And hunt your position longer. Sometimes it's a school teacher. Sometimes it's the boss. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's the wife at home, sometimes it's the husband at home, right? You just leave it to God, and God will put everything into proper order, proper perspective, right? So hit me up in the comment box, my fam. Let me know what you think about this one, right? What's your views, right? What's your experiences, right? Yes, my fam, me there, and don't forget to check out my next video. So there, my fam, up top.